Described as the biggest built environment disaster in South Africa's history, it has brought discrepancies in building regulations under the spotlight. Under current legislation, private contractors are not required to register with regulatory bodies.
But our interest is that at the end of the investigation, the report must indicate whether the professionals who were involved in the planning of the work, design and project management were registered with professional bodies, and not only ours, but including other professional bodies. And to an extent that if they are not, the law must also take its course. But the main message is to say the professionals that are involved in projects must be registered with the regulatory bodies so that we can advise and guide them in terms of the processes that needs to follow now and then when they develop projects.
The Construction Industry Development Board has recently gazetted an amendment bill which will require private construction companies to adhere to the same regulations as public entities. Authorities have once again called on the developer and contractors to get in touch with the affected families.
The developer and the contractors should in fact have moral obligations to support the affected families. And that's why we have said the joint disaster operations team must work together to ensure that the company is brought on board and the developers and support the families. We're grateful to the departments, the Department of Labor, of Employment and Labor, the Department of Social Development. We thank also non-state organizations, whether from here in George or Gift of the Givers and others. We thank them for their support.
The local Ethiopian community reached out to assist the families and rescue teams with food parcels.
Everyone is the first things we have to consider is human beings. Wherever comes, it doesn't matter, but as a human being, we have to think. Someone is a victim of this tragedy, so that is the pain is our pain. So it doesn't matter they're coming away from, but as the Ethiopian community, we believe what's happening is very sudden. So we have to show our gratitude for the trapped families and the rescue team. That's drive us to come here.
A minute of silence was observed at 2:09, the exact time the building collapsed a week ago. Tanya Krause, SABC News, George in the Western Cape.